portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly.
What do you mean by that? In other words, Trump just gave all his people reparations under the guidelines of civil rights and equity. And guess what? Can't none of us be mad at him.
When I was out there on the streets of Philly, it was do or die. But God is good all the time. I'm here for a reason. My name used to be Tech. I'm Mr. Gas now. That stands for Gutta and Saved.
Consider the greatest spitting. I tell them I'm Christ like they envision modern Christian. Tell them I'm nothing like check conditions of how I'm living. I preach Christ, we ain't fake delivering. Listen. Candy man, soon as it's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know, it's about how much Bible you willing to obey.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
And that's the reason why Trump won. Trump's base knew that he was going to, keep them paid in full. They knew that he was going to give them policies that they was going to benefit from as a collective. Unlike Kamala Harris and the Democrats. Trump stood on business. Trump stood on business when it came to his people. And guess what? They put their trust knowing that he was going to stand on business. And we can't be mad at him. We can't be mad what Trump is doing at this point. Y'all check out this clip.
Of justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America. Thank you.
And like I said, we can't be mad. We cannot Trump at all for what he's doing. It ain't no fair. It ain't no fairness in war. You know what I mean? That's what he was supposed to do, whether we agree with it or not. You're supposed to represent the people who represent you. You're supposed to stand on business. And that's exactly what Trump is doing. That's how war works. You see what I'm saying? He took the Democrats to war while they was playing Candy Crush. I mean that literally. They was playing Candy Crush. They was playing kitty games. And Trump was like, listen, while y'all playing kitty games, we ain't playing, Candyland. We ain't playing it. This is war. And the Democrats wasn't war ready. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden and them wasn't war ready. And Trump was. And Trump ain't come to play no games. You can't hate the player. You gotta hate the game. That's the way the game is played. And Trump played the game. While the rest of y'all, like I said, was playing kitty games. That's why, foundational black, people was pushing hard for Kamala Harris to run on reparations. You know what I mean? That's why foundational black people was trying to tell the Democrats to stop playing and have these people cut those checks. But instead, she wanted to say reparations still need to be researched. Yeah, I don't know what black woman would say something like that. As a black woman, black person, of any kind, you should know that reparations is owed. We're not asking for a handout. We demanding what's owed to us. And then she had to go on. She went on and try to give us weed and cryptocurrency and all that stuff. And that's when I knew. That's when I knew Kamala Harris and the Democrats was full of it. And also that's when I knew, yeah, Trump got this in a wrap. Because Trump delivered on his promises when it comes to his base. While the Democrats, like they usually do, they get the check and the job and playing around. And kind of a side note too. And y'all seen the news where Kamala Harris paid all these people millions of dollars just to endorse her.
I can't get over these numbers. $10 million for Beyonce to step up and back Kamala Harris publicly. $5 million for Megan Thee Stallion. $3 million for Lizzo. $1.8 million for Eminem. I mean, is that normally how it goes? You spend $20 million, you get yourself in debt to try to get a bunch of rich celebrities on stage? I've never seen that. Maybe I'm ignorant of the fact, but wow.
And I probably could bet everything I have in the bank. They probably endorsed her in public, but at the polls, they voted for Trump. They voted for Trump. She paid Beyonce $10 million. She paid Meg Thee Stallion $5 million. She paid Lizzo $4.2 million. Allegedly, she paid Oprah $1 million. Shady Eminem, Marshall Mathers, she gave him $1.8 million. And we don't know how much she gave Ricky Smiley, because he was out there chucking and jiving. Plies, yeah, he was out there chucking and jiving. D.L. Hughley, Magic Johnson, and all the rest of those characters. We don't know how much she paid them, but listen, she racked up a debt of $20 million after receiving a donation of $1 billion. Y'all know how much $1 billion is? She spent over $1 billion in 5 months. That's crazy. But anyway. Ain't that right? He ain't lying. And y'all want to know something else deep about this whole situation with Trump, giving all those people in reparations, his folks? I'm gonna tell you what's deep about this. And a lot of y'all probably weren't even thinking about. Those reparations is gonna get paid to those liberals too. The same liberals that was caping for the Democrats, the same liberals that was, walking with the Democrats and all this stuff. And yeah, they're gonna benefit from Trump's reparations because of proximity to whiteness. Because at the end of the day, they still white, and it's not like they gonna say, oh, they gonna stand honorable and not take utilize that policy, because they gonna utilize it, and you ain't gonna know. I ain't gonna know. The reason why we ain't gonna know is because they have proximity to whiteness. Look, they're going to be able to weaponize that policy in as much as the Republicans. It's real rap. That's why I'm always telling black people, listen, these liberals are not our allies. They are not our friends. They get in here and they infiltrate us. They get in here and they get to saying all this cute stuff. But at the end of the day, they going back amongst their people, as they should. I'm not going for doing that. We just got to be more, on our feet and it ain't about knowing who's who. I like what Muhammad Ali said. Muhammad Ali said, if you see 10 rattlesnakes coming towards you and 5 of them mean well and 5 of them don't, are you gonna sit around and wait for the one to bite you, or you gonna sit around and try to figure out which ones are the good ones? No, they all look the same. They all are rattlesnakes. They all are poisonous. So what you got to do is leave them all where they be. You see what I'm saying? Listen,
he's out of line, but he's right.
It's the white liberals who started this whole diverse equity and equality mess. It was these white liberals who's pushing all this trans stuff, this rainbow stuff in the educational system amongst elementary schoolers. Yes, it's them who's doing all that. It's these white liberals who's pushing the transgender craziness, with them playing in women's sports. And the crazy thing is, you don't see the women who transition to men try to get into men's sports. You don't see them trying to play football. You don't see them trying to play basketball. You ain't see them trying to come into male-dominated space, because they know at the end of the day they still women and they still weak and frail. They can't compete with the men. But it's funny that the men who's transitioning to women, they want to go compete with the women, knowing that they strong. You know what? That's another topic for another day. Y'all know they get sensitive. Listen, it's these white liberals who's at the head of all this mess. And unfortunately, us black people get blamed for it. We pay the consequences for it. They don't. They have proximity to whiteness, so when it goes down, they can go back to their community and fit right on in like they have always done. They caused this mess, And then when it gets out of hand, they go right back to their people. They benefit from all this mess. And then, you know, and then they come sit amongst us and act like they don't. These liberals, they play this duality game. Real rap. They play this duality game. And we at this point, we got to stop it. We have to stop feeding into the nonsense, man. Listen, they're gonna benefit, all of them, from this bill, this new policy that Trump is rolling out. All of them, because of, like I said, because of their proximity to whiteness. They white, and I don't blame them for doing that. I blame us for not being vigilant, for not stand. We stand 10 toes down when it comes to us. We need to stand 10 toes down when it comes to them. That boy Trump, in my honest opinion, he played the game. He's a genius. You can't knock him for that. You know what I mean? Forget what everybody else saying. Listen, you can't be mad at how Trump is moving. Those are his people. Those are the people who support him. He's supposed to do that. You should always expect your enemy to not play fair. You should always expect your enemy to side with his people. It's time for us to start choosing us and stop letting these other people in our community and stop infiltrating us. We seen what happened at the polls. We saw who they chose. Come on. But listen, man, that's all I got for y'all, man. I don't blame Trump for what he did, man. It is what it is. You know what I mean? When you know the streets, when you know the game, listen, the game is supposed to be sold, not told. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man. But I thank y'all for rocking out with me, man. Y'all like this hoodie? Make sure y'all hop down in our merch store. You can cop it up, man. We got some dope sales going on with our hoodies, man. I appreciate y'all once again. And I'll holler at y'all on the flip, God willing. Peace.
When I was out there on the streets of Philly, it was do or die. But God is good all the time. I'm here for a reason. My name used to be Tech. I'm Mr. Gas now. That stands for Gutta and Saved.
Considered the greatest spitting. I tell them I'm Christ like they envision modern Christian. Tell them I'm nothing like check conditions that I'm living. I preach Christ, we ain't fake delivering this. Candy man, soon as they. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey.
Okay, I'm reloaded.